Any second. Yep.
Oh, I mean,
Hello.
like we're just chilling in the live. Hello,
We're live and we're chilling. That is it.
we're
Hi,
live and we're chilling.
We're
everybody.
live and we're chilling. Welcome back, everybody. So we are. We're just going to continue. Ooh, that was my chair. Sorry, it's really squeaky. We are going to continue what we were talking about, or talk about other things that you guys want. We have Jan here as well. So
And we would also love comments of what you thought of that stream.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with. Hi, Cassidy. Oh my God, everything's going to go wrong now. Cassidy's here. I'm going to break something. Please don't let me break something. Cassidy, Cassidy, we miss you
Eyes
so
in the
much.
chat.
I miss
Everybody do
Cassidy.
eyes. Everybody, can I type in here? Where are the eyes?
Those eyes crack me up.
I
They're
know, me
just like
too. Me
Looney
too. Here,
Tunes
I'm
eyes.
putting these ones in just because they're cute. Here, where is it? I'm doing those, but I'm also, where's the regular ones? Cassidy,
Oh,
oh
I
my
like this.
God, miss you so much. Ah, everybody, Cassidy's here.
Everybody, yay!
Damn, here. It is so
Pew pew
nice
pew.
it's so nice to see you. Here. I'm just clicking things. Okay, but I managed not to close out everything. Because I think the last time Cassidy came, I screwed something up. Remember with the earphones, and then
Yeah,
Philip lost his
yeah.
mic and we had to go away. Oh, it's so good to see you. You were at the
Oh,
end of the last one. Hi Ryan. Hi everybody who's back in here. Angela and Nanu and
yeah, it was a good stream.
yeah, and Joanna and oh, Mark and Elise are back in, and Halo and Zeus. It was really good. And for anybody who came in late, yes, always you can rewatch, and I normally don't ever edit them, so the chat even stays. We don't lose the chat. So you'll be able to even follow along with that. So how was that? Yes, it was good. Oh, Zeus, I'm so glad. Um, because, when we were talking to Jan a couple nights ago, we chatted for a long time about this stream,
Yeah.
and then Philip and I have talked for days.
Well, we hadn't chatted for a long
We
time. Can I
hadn't
just say to the people, me and Susan haven't spoken on Zoom and Philip too,
month
like just
like
personally, like for, I don't, honestly, I think it was before I started school last year.
yeah, no, it's been pathetic.
But
And
I've been busy. That's like primarily why. So,
yeah, and my life with my family has been, crazy, as most of you know, because I say things every once in a while, like in Nexus. But yeah, so we finally got to hang out with Jan and catch up. And I'm so glad that you asked if you could sit in, because I think that was one of our better live streams in terms of being able to explain things. And for me, the most exciting thing is that when other people have aha moments. And the thing that Morg said about the right now, the clarifying this subtle difference between all awareness and understanding the absolute, subtle difference. But for me, that's still an aha moment. And, really a lot of it is just recognizing all the terms, and then making sure that you've either found in the book where it described in one of the books where it explains the term to you to where you get it, or you come in here and bug us about it until you have a good understanding of it. And
there's one thing I've actually learned from you personally, because I think we've known each other for quite a many years now, is to just like if you don't understand something, don't let it go.
oh, that's me.
Like just stay on that until
Stay
you
on
get
target
it before you move on to something more complex. And mostly I think you apply that to math, but I kind of
yeah,
apply that to
to everything.
understanding things in general,
it,
with especially with sort of like words that are trying to like create a verbal concept around like the thing you're trying to understand, you know?
and especially when all these terms are new. These are terms that Morg created to explain concepts that nobody else knows, to match the understanding of reality that is a completely different paradigm. So, here we are struggling to understand not only what the concepts mean, but to remember all of them and how they relate to each other. It's new stuff, just the visuals of it in your head, but then to also remember which thing is which. And there's subtle differences between them, but they're necessary. They're not all synonyms for each other, because otherwise we wouldn't have them. It's kind of like the whole, there's the holos, and then instead of space-time, it's space chronos, and then chronos, I think it's chronos space. That's the other one. We don't use that very often. But they mean something specifically, that is, and there's a reason for it. The reason is to, especially with like space chronos, because space-time denotes a specific, because it already exists out in the world, and we all have an idea of what that is, but the Neogenian meaning of that is not the same as what the masses think. And I remember talking to Morg at length about this, specifically this case, when Morg said, will it be too confusing if I bring in space chronos to replace space-time? This is just one tiny example of the terminology for the Neogenian system. And I said, no, I think it's a good idea, because ultimately we want to get away from space-time, because when people hear space-time, we all think the same thing.
It's an immediate association
with current science. Science uses space-time, and
has like a sort of materialistic schema about it when you say like space-time. You just associate it with.
Yes, but also people think time when they hear time, they think time in terms of the way we all think of time or have thought of time. Whereas in our system, and meta-rationalism goes into this, and this is one of those mindfuck concepts. I'm just going to say it. It's just really understanding time is another kind of space. And I remember Morg going through that over and over again. It's another kind of space. It's not time,
I can see
the
that.
way we think of it. So coming up with space chronos was a way to unhook the connections that we have. Am I rambling? Am I bad?
No, I'm interested. I'm listening.
Okay, good.
Keep going.
Because we hook on to definitions of things that we're familiar with, and this was a way to unhook from that and try to rehook it with a different meaning, and specifically with the Neogenian understanding of reality. And so all of the concepts that are new for this system, they all are important. That's why we have them, so that we can, like holos and zeta and zeta configuration, frequency domain. It's how we can communicate. Words are important, and you need to know exactly what it means. Everybody needs to be on the same page, and then we can talk about these things. We can talk about the concepts in a meaningful way. But first we have to get to where you really know, when someone says the absolute to you, where you can get it fast, and if you can't, make sure that you slow down and define it to yourself. And that's why Jan will laugh at this, but when we did math together, I would say something like, God, it's been a long time, but I would say something like the sine wave, the one that does this. And I would say the SOHCAHTOA, remember that the sine over the hypotenuse, the opposite over the hypotenuse, or the adjacent over the hypotenuse.
The amplitude, or
yes, that's the sine,
like
the sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, and you work it out. You do that. Pepper, where's Pepper? Is Pepper near you? Where people are asking for Pepper.
Yeah. I
She's
think that's
around.
a
I don't know
good
if she'd
sort of
let
a
me
good
pick
thing
her up.
to like when you're trying to learn concepts and terminology and you're trying to get the things across your head. I think it should be normalized. Like use whatever imagery that you can and like
Yeah.
whatever gets it in your head, even if it's something silly, like you imagine a pie or like just whatever it is that actually helps you get it. Like
Yeah. Until all of a sudden one day it will be so ingrained in you that you will not need to do that anymore.
right. But
Yes.
you gotta start somewhere,
Yeah.
It's gotta treat yourself like a baby. You gotta draw it
Um,
out for yourself in crayon
I,
and then as soon as you understand that, improve upon it, is understand it more clearer as you keep revisiting that subject.
I do that all the time. It's one of my learning techniques, especially with math. And I don't ever feel like, oh, I feel so kindergarten compared to someone who can do this fast. I don't care. As long as I know what I'm doing, and if I have to remind myself every step of the way of what every component is,
Oh yeah.
I will do that.
Count with your fingers. I mean, like whatever it takes. I'm a
Yeah,
big proponent. I think I like to just, really sort of I guess I feel for other people when they're having a hard time understanding, and especially when the Neogenian system is like a very I don't know if academic is the right word, but it's like it's not like an everyday Joe Schmo subject that they talk about, right? It's not like talking about the weather. So I think it's hard when you're coming into this and you have that sort of like, am I too stupid to understand this stuff, So like when you try to describe things and you don't describe it well enough and you kind of get hit back with that feedback of like, no, that's not it. It's I would like for those moments to be just a little more normalized and have a bit more like self-care and like understanding and some grace, like
absolutely.
it's especially when neo-Genians talk to each other about it. I'm not saying that we don't like have grace, but it's really important to create that graceful environment and that welcoming environment so that we
Yeah,
can actually like go back and forth. And sometimes I feel like when like we have like really complex conversations, we have to take like a solid half hour to figure out what it is I'm even trying to ask, let alone
yeah.
like how to answer it.
Well, I mean, you guys have heard me ranting enough, or getting on my soapbox, not necessarily ranting, but getting on my soapbox about how I know I hate being left behind in terms of understanding something when I know I've learned to not think of myself as stupid, because I know that given the right circumstances and the right person explaining things to me, that I'll get it. So I'm just very insistent, sometimes extremely annoyingly so, very tenacious about getting the information that I want. And luckily, Morg's very patient, because
Yeah.
sometimes
And
I,
also, I think you have that kind of difficulty with any philosophical system, which the Neogenian is definitely complex and it has many different overlapping areas. Speaking of overlapping areas, I don't know if anybody's ever seen that Venn diagram, and it's about philosophy, and it says, what is something that philosophers, toddlers, and the Backstreet Boys all say? Tell me why.
Tell me
yeah,
why.
yeah, I
Tell me
love it.
why. Because
That's where they
I mean, that's
cross.
what we do a lot of times when we're discussing these concepts. If you're trying to
You know,
understand something, tell me why.
yeah,
Why does this
that's
relate to
kind
this?
of how I
Yeah.
felt like when I came in with my questions. I was kind of excited. I'm like, I get to be that little kid that just goes, why? Why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why?
until you get answered satisfactorily. I often find that I can't articulate what it is that I want to know, and that's very frustrating.
Yeah.
I
And
saw another joke that said, philosophers only want one thing, and it's fucking discussing.
Philip with the jokes always,
Yeah.
but I
Right.
love
Yeah.
them. I love
I
them.
think so. I'm seeing something really common that we're talking about here. I think persistence is the key to understanding
Yes,
like our system
yeah,
is persistence.
it is, and it's also very important to recognize that you have a right to understand, to tell yourself that you're not stupid, and hopefully to get enough courage to ask questions. And I think that, like I said, I've been on the soapbox enough, especially when it comes to math. And of course, that goes to other areas as well. But I think I've made it clear to people that they should feel pretty safe around me to ask questions, because
And on our channel, that's what we strive for.
yeah, that's the whole purpose of it. That is one of the things that actually makes me so happy, is when somebody has an aha moment and they get, even if it's just a little bit of a deeper understanding about something, or suddenly something clicks. That's exciting for me. I mean, that's why
Hmm.
because we could be watching TV. you know my mom is like, when are we watching TV tonight? And I'm like, not tonight, because I have a live stream. We wouldn't do it otherwise. So you guys are, yeah, you're the reason. And the fact that there's a lot more people coming in wanting to understand the Neogenian system, which, as you know from listening to Morg, is so important, because look at I can already hear it coming up, but look at the world the way it is now. It's not great. So we have to do something about it. This is why we're doing it, you know? So on that note, how is everybody doing? Like, how is everyone? Lee, I heard that, I saw your answer saying that you're doing better. I'm very relieved, because you were really, it was miserable there. Oh, what a wonderful thing, Lee just said. Doing this kind of work in the Neogenian system makes me feel more like a magician sifting through tomes than any occult or religious system. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I am so glad you came, Cassie. You have no idea how much we miss you in the community. You are our like little happy spark. And we know where you're busy and we know you're working, but it's so nice to see you. Oh, JP, you're fasting. Are you doing it safely, I hope? Yeah, I hear you, Joanna.
Sounds like maybe intermittent fasting.
2 months, Lee. Holy cow. I agree with you, Zeus. The live stream, having the mark of live streams, and then the Saturday video, and the Morgue Saturday video, and the Nexus class, it does get us away from the doom scrolling and the horrors of what's going on out there.
I think that's really kind of a part of why I've lost a bit of, like, I've been trying to get my live streams back up and going again. And every time I sit down to talk about like a world or something that's going on in the world, it's just like an onslaught of like horrible things. And then I just think, like, doesn't everybody already know? I mean, like,
I
what
know.
can I possibly like add to this other than like, well,
Yeah.
yep, this is awful. Ideally, we wouldn't have this in our system. And then like that's just like the butt of every commentary. So
Yeah.
maybe I just need to take another break or something, but it's just kind of like I would rather have a bit more of a productive conversation than just look at how horrible this is. Here's why it's horrible. It shouldn't be horrible, but it is. Good night, everybody. Have a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah,
Like
exactly, right? It's, yeah, it's rough. And I mean, I look at stuff every day, to see what's going on out there. But I agree with Zeus that we have little islands of sanity, and
I think
some,
that's what I need. I need to come visit your channel more frequently and be on like an island of sanity and just like be in a little bubble for a while.
yeah. I agree, Mark. Trending is tough criterion for stream topics right now. I can only be on like social media for limited amounts of time. And Philip knows, because I will rant. I mean, we'll rant
And I,
together.
and I listen.
Yeah.
Philip listens, yeah.
See,
Um,
I feel safe experience going through this year of college. I feel safer and more comfortable discussing world issues, like in my sociology classes in the classroom setting with the professor, because it is more like productive rather than just like,
yes,
ah, it's so terrible, you know.
I know. Because what can what can you say? It would be like if I was doing commentary on thing like what a lot of channels do, that because that's what they cover. I don't think I would last very long. I want to read what Lee said. For me, one of the most important things Morg has said is that a system needs to be in place that allows for self-correction and discovery when presented with new, more accurate information. Absolutely, that's so important. Um,
It should be a delightful
and
experience discovering knowledge that you
yeah,
didn't previously know. Even if it's a better or higher understanding of something you already felt you knew, it should be like an, oh, excellent. Now I can, shift and I can change. But I think a lot of people like are just like stuck up in their egos and their shadows. And so when they have those moments, they kind of just like double down and go back and get into
yeah,
that sort of like sunken cost fallacy. So it's also, it's just like I think people's personal like attitude of themselves. Like, are you the type of person to be able to admit you're wrong comfortably about something, or are you just gonna stick to your guns and fold your arms and stomp your feet?
yeah.
This talk with Butterfingers is making me hungry.
I know.
I may
And
have to go eat before too
any
long.
any island that anybody is on will have Butterfingers. They don't even need to be secret stashes. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying not to eat horrible stuff, but
Oh,
it's so hard. And Zeus is, I've trained my social media to show me pet rescue videos. Honestly, I get my algorithm is so weird. I get awful stuff, awful stuff, awful stuff. Oh, animal rescue, awful stuff, awful animal rescue. It's like this
that's
weird.
mine, only it's like awful stuff. And I actually sent Philip a screenshot of my Instagram
Yes, you
algorithm
did.
last night. I'm like, I think my algorithm is telling me something. It's all like shirtless guys with hairy chests, intermixed with like with
It's
like the
hilarious.
horrible travesties that are
Ah,
going on in the
Yeah, my
world.
at least my TikTok is all awful stuff. But I do see pet rescue videos, but they're the like really awful ones.
no,
Like
no, those are fake. Those people set
no,
those up. No, they
no,
I
not
do.
some of
They
them
swear.
throw
I
the
see.
dog into the water down there and it
I
floats down here and then they
swear.
rescue it.
Yeah,
Some of
some of
those
them that I've
rescue videos
seen.
are actually abuse
I
videos.
stopped
Like
watching
Yeah,
those.
it's
But the dodo, follow the dodo. Those are good ones. I like the
yeah,
dodo.
I like the
kind of that
dodo.
organization does really
Oh,
seedy stuff
quokka.
though.
Where's my quokka? There. Please enjoy the quokka. Here, this is normally where I am. Where quokka is sitting is normally. Oh
That's the
God,
new quokka.
that's Cassidy's quokka. We changed it. Isn't
Oh,
that the
my.
cutest thing? I love him.
The pet videos I like to watch, there's this lady on YouTube called Girl
Whoops.
with the Dogs, and she's a groomer, and she does like, neglect cases sometimes, but like I really just like watching her. She talks about different breeds of dogs and things like that
Mhm.
and
I
how to
follow
deal
a
with it.
really
So
funny groomer who does hilarious, like she pretends that she's certain dog breeds and in different situations, and she is so funny. Do you know her,
yeah.
Zeus? Oh my God, she's hilarious. And also a vet who does funny things too. But the groomer is even funnier. Somebody message me
Yeah.
if you want to know who she is, and
We
I'll
love
send you one
pet
of her
video.
links.
We love animal
And if I
videos.
come across a dachshund in any form, I always send it to Jan.
'Cause I want a dachshund
I
so
know.
bad. I need a weenie dog.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about, Lee. I think I follow her, the Black Forager, and she is so nice. Is she really super bubbly? I'm bad with knowing names of people, but I think I follow her on TikTok. Oh, yeah, the
Girl with
one.
the dogs, yeah.
Yeah, she's super sweet. I think I follow her. Yeah, I had to. I don't go on TikTok much, but I have my Instagram uh, um uh, uh, um uh, uh Algorithm. I kept, never mind. I have that set to, hi
There you go for
Pepper.
everybody that asked about
Hello,
Pepper.
Pepper. Hi Pepper. Oh,
She didn't want to be
She
picked
is
up.
she's
But
like,
she ran
she's like, I've
by.
had enough.
over it.
Put me down, Daddy.
I am not ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I do follow her. She's great. I need animal stuff and some funny stuff to counteract the horrific stuff that I see.
Hey, there's great value in disassociating
Mm-hmm.
in at the right times and places. It's very, in fact, CIA teaches like its agents how to disassociate to like survive torture. So if you feel like you're being tortured, just know the
Yeah.
CIA actually takes time to teach people to disassociate. So if you're good at that and you can lose yourself in a book or a story
Yeah.
or something
Something.
for a while just to like there's some healing in that. I mean, obviously with some limits, but
Yeah. Of course, we're probably going to go in a couple minutes, but I'm just going to show everybody the book I'm reading now, which is not really something to disassociate with, but I showed this to Jan. This is Jan said,
I
that's
love
my
this
Bible.
book.
So
You
yeah,
guys need to read
I'm
this
halfway
book.
through. Highly, highly recommend it for
Really good.
really good history of the United States that you aren't going to get, in just
Howard Zinn's wording and his historical takes like are just very cut and dry and to the point. He does not like sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't dance around terms. Like when he talks about like Native Americans, he's like, no, they were slaughtered. This was a genocide.
Oh,
like they were brutalized. Like
Is this backwards, you guys? This is backwards?
it's not backwards to me.
Oh, it's backwards.
On YouTube, you'd
It's
have
flipped.
to flip the
All right.
camera.
So it's A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. Zinn. Howard Zinn. A People's History of the United States. Famous book.
Not your fifth grade history book.
It was recommended. Okay. People's History of the United States. Just, you need the name Howard Zinn. Zinn. And it's long. It's
there
worth
could be
reading.
free YouTube like audio things
Might
of
be.
it if you look it up on audio or
Yeah.
audiobook.
Yeah.
I think it's there. Howard's. I think it actually is on YouTube. You can listen to it. So
Yeah, he's you get actual writing. I know that I used to say Z, but then when I moved back to Canada for 20 years, I finally I used to hate Zed when I would hear it when I was younger. My cousins all said it because they still lived in Canada, but I grew up in Jersey. Anyway, when I moved to Canada and lived there for like 20 years, I started saying it, and it makes so much more sense than Z.
I'm thinking of that Winnie the Pooh meme where like he's saying Z at the top and he's regularly dressed, and then at the bottom he's more like dressed in a top hat with like a crinkly, just like Zed.
But think of it this way: Z is like it could be C. Zed. You know that you're saying Zed. It's I think it's Canadian, and if it's Canadian, it's probably British as well, because Canadian stuff comes from British stuff. So anyway, I found it useful. I refuse to say pasta. They all said pasta. I still say pasta. So
Pasta.
I refuse to say pasta. What?
It's noodles.
Noodles.
No pasta. It's noodles.
But still, I started saying pop instead of soda. But Zed is actually helpful.
What is wrong with you?
I know, right? I know.
I say pop, but I'm from the Midwest.
That is totally like an Midwest, like Eastern thing. It's just soda here.
Yeah.
Soda.
I know. Well, for me too in Jersey, it was always what? Oh my God, what are we talking about? I've
something very enriching.
Angela, see,
okay.
Pop just became useful when I moved back to Canada. But because I remember asking for a soda once when I was a kid, and we were back up in Toronto where I was born, And I asked for a soda, and the woman looked so confused. She was like, "What do you mean, like a chocolate,
Like a seltzer?
like float? Yeah, like you want an ice cream float?" And
Like
I'm
a
like,
fizzy
"No,
drink.
like Coke." And she goes, "Oh, pop." So yeah, I think soda
Soda
is more
pop?
refined, but pop is very easy. I'll be like, "I'm buying pop. What kind do you want?" You know, I don't know, whatever. You can tell I'm tired because I'm just babbling at this point. But I'm really happy in how our stream went, and I'm very happy
Yeah,
that Jan came on and will
that
come
was
on
fun.
more.
And while we've been talking, I kind of have an idea brewing of maybe a next one that we can do.
Philip comes up with the ideas, and they're awesome. So,
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to run it by Susan and see what
okay,
she thinks. But
okay. So I think we'll say good night. And Cassidy, it's awesome you came. Thank you to everybody else. It's really fun to hang out with you. And if you get the book by Howard Zinn, and you know, I mean, I think you definitely would like it. So let me know though. So good night, everybody, and we will see you probably. Let's see, it's July next month. We'll try to do one mid-month as well. So in a
Mhm.
couple of weeks, right? Yeah, we try. So okay. See you tomorrow at the class, hopefully.
good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.